The Rock Whisperer. Do you hear the earth talking to you?
Welcome to the Weather Unit. First topic we're going to cover are weather instruments. This is section 5-1 in your note packet. First instrument we're going to talk about is one that you may not have heard about. It's called a sling psychrometer. And a sling psychrometer is basically two thermometers, as you can see in the picture. And what happens is you have one, it's going to be a dry bulb, and that's going to give you the actual air temperature. You're going to have a second one that has a wick on it, and it's called the wet bulb. And what happens is water evaporates on that as you sling it around, and we'll show you that in class. You're going to get two different temperatures, as you can see right here on these two thermometers. Then if you use page 12 in your Earth Science reference table to find, once you know the difference between those two temperatures, you can look up your dew point or your relative humidity. We had just mentioned a thermometer, and thermometer is used to obviously take temperatures. But how does it work? There is a fluid inside the thermometer. It used to be mercury, which is no longer used, so now it's a type of alcohol dyed red. So when you heat something up, the fluid expands, and as it expands, the fluid goes to the far end of the thermometer, so that's our temperature increasing. And if your heat decreases, or it's colder outside, the fluid's going to contract, and as it contracts, it moves down the thermometer, so you're going to have a colder temperature. If we want to know the direction of the wind, we can use a wind vane. So here's kind of an old school wind vane that might have a horse or a ship or a rooster or something on the top. You might see on the top of a barn, and you have north, south, east, and west. Or similar to the weather station we have on top of the middle school, we have one that has the cups for the anemometer to tell wind speed, but we also have the wind direction up here. We always give the direction of the wind based on where the wind is coming from. So if the wind is blowing from the west to the east, we say that it is a west wind. An anemometer is going to tell us how fast the wind is blowing. So you can see that we have these cups around the outside, and as the wind blows, it will push the cups and it will continue to spin around. At the bottom there's a generator here, and there's a little magnetic connection, and every time that goes around, it calculates how fast it's going, so we can count how many rotations we have in a minute or rotations per second, and with that calculation we can tell how fast the wind is blowing. And our final instrument that we're going to talk about is air pressure. We use a barometer in order to measure air pressure, and that's how much air is pushing down on us or onto the earth. So you can think of it like this. We have pressure pushing down, and this does say mercury, and that mercury would get pushed up into a vacuum tube. And so the higher the pressure, the more air pushing down, the higher the mercury goes into that tube. Here's another type of barometer that you might see, and it tells us dry weather, fair weather, changing, raining, and stormy weather. So we know that low pressure, meaning a lower pressure in the atmospheric pressure, is going to be rainy or stormy weather, where our high pressure is going to be fair or dry weather.